out there. Now, everyone has got a mouth. Everyone. And everyone's got a voice box, or virtually everyone. And therefore, we can articulate and pass this on. And so, it's ridiculous to say there's nothing we can do. We can get...
A magnetic field is generated when electric charge carriers such as electrons move through space or within an electrical conductor. The geometric shapes of the magnetic flux lines produced by moving charge carriers, electric current, are similar to the shapes of the flux lines in an electrostatic field. But there are differences in the ways electrostatic and magnetic fields interact with the environment. Electrostatic flux is impeded or blocked by metallic objects. Magnetic flux passes through most metals with little or no effect, with certain exceptions, notably iron and nickel. These two metals, and alloys and mixtures containing them, are known as ferromagnetic materials because they concentrate magnetic lines of flux. An electromagnet provides a good example. An air core coil carrying direct current produces a magnetic field. If an iron core is substituted for the air core in a given coil, the intensity of the magnetic field is greatly increased in the immediate vicinity of the coil. If the coil has many turns and carries a large current, and if the core material has exceptional ferromagnetic properties, the flux density near the ends of the core, the poles of the magnet, can be such that the electromagnet can be used to pick up and move cars. When charge carriers are accelerated, as opposed to moving at constant velocity, a fluctuating magnetic field is produced. This generates a fluctuating electric field, which in turn produces another varying magnetic field. The result is a leapfrog effect, in which both fields can propagate over vast distances through space. Such a synergistic field is known as an electromagnetic field. This is the phenomenon that makes wireless communications and broadcasting possible. This event is especially noteworthy for several reasons. A pilot flying a light aircraft from Exeter to Thruxton flew over the field opposite Stonehenge on the afternoon of Sunday 7th July with a passenger taking photographs, at which time the field opposite on the A303 was unmarked. The pilot disembarked at Thruxton, completed the necessary landing and flight forms, refueled and then got back into the same plane to fly back to Exeter. Imagine his surprise when flying over the same field opposite Stonehenge some 40 to 50 minutes later he observed an enormous formation measuring 915.2 x 508 feet imprinted in the wheat below. A gamekeeper and a guard at Stonehenge both confirmed that it had not been there that morning. The formation was named the Julius set as it represented a complex computer-generated fractal image to the mathematicians. To musicians, a bass clef, and to marine biologists the cross-section of a nautilus. Veteran researcher Colin Andrews tells me the formation was first spotted from an aircraft at 6:15 p.m. The pilot crossed over the field with a passenger, a medical doctor taking photographs, at 5:30 p.m. There was nothing in the field at that time, but when the pilot returned at 6:15 p.m. he saw the formation in the field. At about the same time, 6:30 p.m., his previous passenger drove past Stonehenge to see cars pulled off the side of the busy road. When I interviewed the Wiltshire Police, I was told that the police emergency lines received several 999 calls just before 6:00 p.m. reporting a large number of vehicles pulled off the road causing a hazard. German researcher Andreas Müller has also supplied some vital information as a result of when he visited the formation after its appearance. He wrote telling me that he had listened to a man he took to be the farmer telling a group of people that he had had farm workers working in the field mending the fence until approximately 17:30 am.
So why do we see particle beams, huge ones, firing at things that are, you were saying 200,000 Gs?
Yep.
I mean, go over that.
Well, because I think it's part of a test for if there are bad guys out there. Or maybe they're doing preparations for faction. may be looking at more than one faction. Remember, these groups tend to fragment. They fractally fragment so that you have wars within wars within wars. You know.
But why would NASA release that footage?
Well, remember, you've got all the good guys in NASA, and then you've got a few who are not good guys. The good guys don't know that there's something to keep secret. Remember, the lie's different at every level. They believe the lies they've been told. So when you set up a structure, an institution, which is supposed to be open and above board and is supposed to present live TV of the shuttle mission, they present live TV. Now, the controllers can't say, oh, well, you can broadcast this, but you can't broadcast that. Because the honest guys will then say,
sure.
Well, why can't we broadcast that?
So people always say if this was happening, it would come out, and it is coming out. Well, I mean, I agree with you. When you've got the Catholic Church saying we need to love the aliens, they're our brothers, when you've got every major denomination saying it, when you've got all the movies, and you've got, you know, in the 80s, huge programs at the Olympics with aliens landing, you know, fake aliens, and you've got huge things the size of 3 football fields floating over Dallas and stuff all over the place. Something's going on, and then I read government documents about fake extraterrestrial landings. You know, any of this. Why? I mean, you believe it's fake.
Remember Operation Northwoods?
Yes.
Okay. Or we can go to the, September 11th. Governments do huge, big things to sway populations at key nodal points in history.
They love hoaxes.
Yeah, well, it's manufactured history is what it is. We are building, I mean, all my UFO friends, I need to shake them because they're so, frankly, they're extremely naive, Alex. They really believe we're building toward disclosure. I believe we're building toward a mass, carefully manufactured fake event where
Another revelation to those who understand the symbolic language of the Illuminati is the hidden meaning of the names of the space shuttles. Listen to this very carefully. I assume that you all know the names of the space shuttles. If you don't, they are all included in this sentence. Quote, a Colombian enterprise to endeavor for the discovery of Atlantis, and all challengers shall be destroyed, end quote.
They are going to basically fake out the world. And there's an incredible window on the Nazi black ops programs, the compartmentalized, incredible high technology efforts that were being funded by the Nazi war machine, particularly toward the end of the war in a desperate effort to win the war, and they fastened their hopes on several key technologies, some of which appear to be the control of gravity itself, which again is a separate piece of data from my work, which came at this from a hyperdimensional physics perspective.
I mean, we know there's a lot of suppressed technology. I mean, 20 years after the B-2 bomber was already in service, they declassify it. So we have a lot of cases of that. We know there's a whole shadow government. This
is technology in physics, Alex, that would make anything you think you know like a candle flame compared to a hydrogen bomb. This is a physics that literally allows you to rearrange time.
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You're the voice, try and understand it. Make the noise and make it clear.
But that's the kind of stuff I never even get into because you're not ready for it. The globalists don't believe in Satanism. They believe they're contacting interdimensional aliens through the drug use and through the electronic interface, and they believe, and they actually write about, Ray Kurzweil, all of them, that they're going to merge with the machines, blast off into hyperdimensional space. And that's why they're so crazy. That's why they want to get rid of us. That's why they're smiling and giddy and acting so nuts, because they believe, if you're a psychiatrist and are hearing this, understand, whether it's real or not, they believe they are in contact with these entities and are being directed by them. That's why they're so evil.
Expressing all the time, but now I can put it into that sentence that I think we're being run by maniacs for maniacal ends. You know, if anybody can put on paper what our government and the American government, etc., and the Russian, Chinese, what they are actually trying to do, you know, and what they think they're doing. I'd be very pleased to know what they think they're doing. I think they're all insane, you know, but I'm liable to be put away as insane for expressing that. You know, that's what's insane about it.
You can get unlimited corporate news. You can have any mercenaries you choose.
Got a voice, try and understand it. Make the noise and make it clear.
If I do not seek to understand what's happening here, then I've got peanuts in my head. When will I wake up?
Dear friend, are too embedded into this simulation to ever detect the master operating system. This is why we must rely on experimental data and not on direct detection. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and that your horizons have widened. I also hope that the once unthinkable is now a little more reasonable.
Out there. Now, everyone has got a mouth. Everyone. And everyone's got a voice box, or virtually everyone. And therefore we can articulate